Thank you. Peter Ladley. I've lived in Chemung County and worked in Chemung County for 26 years. It's the meaning of what's at stake here tonight that puzzles me, questions me. You see, my relatively newborn and, in one case, 2-year-old grandchildren and their great-great-grandchildren wake me from a deep sleep, and they ask me, "Grandpops, what did you do when you knew?" The landfill asks me an even simpler question that doesn't seem to be explored, and that is, where is a way? Where is a way? Tonight's hearing reminds me, more importantly, of the relationship that is forever intertwined, forever linked between the health of our global commons, that is our air, our water, and our land, and the health of our local communities. If there is even a hint of risk to the health of any citizen, particularly those who are most vulnerable, those in communities of color who are not represented, those who tend to be voiceless among us, then it is an ethical imperative to cease expansion, and as far as I'm concerned, to close the landfill. As I stand here, even industry giants are admitting in their ads, attempting to be green at certain moments, that less than 1% of all water on our planet, try to let that register, less than 1% of all water on our planet tonight is drinkable. And most of that is in groundwater. Does that have to do with the landfill? I think those who have preceded me have spoken well to that. So, what we need is nothing less than an energy descent plan. Not pie in the sky. It simply needs to be first marked by an end to profligate gas drilling. It needs to be marked by green jobs. And it needs to be marked by zero waste. Let's imagine land filled with sustainable sources of energy: solar, wind, hydrogen, geothermal, local jobs, people employed growing their own food, marketing their own food right within the county. These were explored in an energy summit in November of 2011, in which more than 200 to 250 citizens explored at Corning Community College. They didn't talk about pie in the sky or the hereafter. They talked about concrete ways in which these sustainable sources of energy could be and are being used. So, the landfill, or whatever other metaphor you want to use, is not inevitable. It's simply a human choice. And yet, do we have the wisdom to make that choice? The poet and prophet, farmer and grandfather, Wendell Berry, reminds me, and I hope you'll take his words to heart in his 80th year, that the earth is what we all have in common. It is what we are made of and what we live from. And we cannot damage it without damaging those with whom we share it. There is an uncanny resemblance between our behavior toward each other and our behavior toward the earth. By some connection we do not recognize, the willingness to exploit one becomes the willingness to exploit the other. So it is impossible to care for each other more or differently than we care for the earth, especially this local, specific piece of earth. Thank you.
We have anyone else in the fifth row on the right? Anyone in the back row?